We're back, and the thing with Goldberg, again, I want to stress, especially with that Elimination Chamber, which I did before we left off here, Goldberg was a monster at a time where a lot of the WCW talent was coming into WWE, not just with the invasion angle, but with after the invasion angle. Because you saw Goldberg, you saw the NWO, you saw Sting a decade later. You saw, Luger was behind the scenes a little bit. Really didn't see him that much, but, he was there to some degree. Booker T was there for the invasion. Canyon, was there for the invasion. Benoit was there for a while. And honestly, you look at WCW, it was a dying breed. It was going to die eventually. It was, and that's a whole nother video for that whole WCW bit. It's ridiculous what they did. And Bret Hart eventually came back for the Hall of Fame. Just a lot of WCW talent at the time was coming back. But, again, they destroyed his run there, and it was a one-year deal to begin with, so it didn't really matter what the hell happened. So it was pretty much paid for Goldberg, so it didn't really matter. And, of course, the recent run as well. And, of course, a run in New Japan and stuff like that. But as far as he goes, you look at what he's done. Looking at his movies, and their supporting roles, maybe main roles specifically, Santa's Sleigh, which was a crazy movie. Basically, Santa kills people. It's not for kids. I'm just going to say that. But, looking at the movies alone, it's crazy. Ready to Rumble, WCW's only movie ever, showed how much of a train wreck the company really was at some times, and really didn't do a good job with WCW to begin with, but, hell, they made the movie, so fuck it, and they got David Arquette as a world champion, so, it paid off to some degree, so, but whatever. But, from the remake of The Longest Yard, which was the Burt Reynolds original back in the day, you have, I don't even remember half of this shit. But, of course, the Jesse Ventura story when Ventura was going to the office, so they made a documentary on that for some fucking reason. But looking at television, he was on Pros vs. Joes when that was still a thing, as well as Hulk Hogan Celebrity Championship Wrestling, as well as The Man Show, Family Guy, the list goes on and on. Monster Garage, a lot of stuff. I think he even had was that a fucking reality show? I think that's coming out. Or it should be. I don't know. That's interesting. I did not know that. But as far as accomplishments go, it's interesting. Because there isn't a lot for Goldberg, even though he did have a run in All Japan. Didn't really win anything there. But as far as Goldberg goes, it's really a short list. We can finish this off as quickly as we can. But, we can do a little backstory a little bit on some of this stuff. But I just want to get one thing straight before we do that. Yes, okay. As far as accomplishments go, it's not that big of a list. For Pro Wrestling Illustrated, the comeback of the year in 2016, which you briefly talked about, the one with Lesnar, where he beat Lesnar, and then in about maybe 90 seconds, maybe 60 seconds, maybe a little under or over that. Of course, became Universal Champion at that time and did all that. Most inspirational wrestler of the year in 1998. It was his high time at that time. Won the United States title and the world title of WCW at that time, as well as Rookie of the Year. Ranked number 2 in the 500 best wrestlers in the PWA 500 in 1998, which you can only imagine who was number 1. And was it Malenko or was that a different year? I want to say it was Malenko, but I don't think it was Malenko. And ranked number 75 in the PWI Years Edition in 2003. For WCW, the World Championship, which we briefly talked about, 2-time United States Champion, which he, at the time, held the U.S. and the World title at the same time, vacated the U.S. title because, you can't really hold more than once. Held it for both for a while, though. The World Tag Team titles with Bret Hart, and the 5th Triple Crown champion, which was tied with Bret Hart And the Triple Crown of WCW at the time was the world title, the world tag title, and the U.S. title. You could technically put the television title in there, but some people don't do that. It's a elite list of maybe 9, 10 names, like Flair, Luger, Sting, DDP. Won it with Brett as well, which actually, they both got the Triple Crown at that point by winning the tag belts in '99. Benoit, Steiner, and Booker T, which Booker also held the U.S. and the world titles at the same time, which he brought into the invasion angle as well. For WWE, a world title holder of which was then the World Championship, which was basically the WCW, the NWA title, which was then the WCW title, which was then eventually the world title that we saw until the titles were unified with the Cena-Orton match for the 100th time. Of course, the Universal Championship, won it last year. And of course, the Hall of Fame. And for the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the Rookie of the Year 98, which again is no surprise. But again, you think of Goldberg and you think what he did. It makes me feel old, I'll say that much. It makes me feel old thinking that someone like Goldberg is in the Hall of Fame. It really makes you think about life and what really means a lot. And it makes you think of wrestling as well and how quick time flies. It really does. But with that, there's going to be more inductions and more inductees announced in the next few weeks, so we'll see what happens from there.